Hello and welcome to Take 5 with SAX, 5 minutes of our 65 years of experience where we address important topics that impact your business and your life with our partners here at SAX. My name is Todd Polinak, and with me is my partner Craig Winkipita Casano, Winky for short. And today we have Jerome Fusco, who is the Managing Director of SAX Capital Advisors, and his passion is investment banking. He's going to share with us what business owners ought to be doing now to avoid regrets later. But before we turn it over to Jerome, Craig, share some ideas with us, some thoughts about investment banking that people may not know about. Craig?
Thank you, Todd. So before we hand the mic over to Jerome, I wanted to go ahead and do my dance a bit. I'm going to lead with a bit of history. Philadelphia financier Jay Cooke established the first modern American investment bank during the Civil War era. During the Civil War, banking houses were syndicated to meet federal government's need for money to fund war efforts. Cooke launched the first mass security selling operation and employed thousands of salesmen to float what would amount to $830 million worth of government bonds. The 1800s also saw the birth of some of the most famous investment banks, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, and a bit more on them in a minute. Now, when we think of investment banking, mergers and acquisitions typically come to mind. That said, one of the largest mergers in history took place in the year 2000 when America Online, or AOL, merged with Time Warner Inc. in a deal worth a staggering $360 billion. They later spun off to operate as independent companies after the dot-com burst ate into AOL's value over time. And a quick final fact. From a revenue perspective alone, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Bank of America rank amongst the top with respective iBank revenues of $8.5, $7.6, and $6.2 billion, further solidifying that I perhaps chose the wrong profession. There you have it. That's me winking at you.
Hey, thanks, Craig. Jerome, take it away. Tell us what business owners should be thinking of doing now so they have no regrets later. Jerome?
Thanks, Todd. Thanks, Craig. Appreciate the introduction. Appreciate you having me on. So, listen, I think that when I think about the sale of a business, it's a really critical decision in terms of critical life decisions. The business you built, when you sell it, and who you sell it to is probably right below having a child and picking out a spouse. So it's really critical, to be prepared. And one of the things I think that really differentiates a successful sale and a smooth transaction is the individual or the owner prepared for it? So if you're planning on selling your business, or you think about selling your business, or even if you're just potentially thinking about seeing what that looks like, getting ahead of it now rather than later is always critical. Many of my clients I've had for 5+ years who are always exploring and thinking through different things. So, the time to contact an advisor is not when you're ready to go. It's when you're thinking about succession planning. And, it might not be the right decision to sell your business. It might be how can you help structure it so my children can take over the business, or a close business partner. Those type of transaction structures are very common in the market. The other thing, and that plays into point number 2, which is structuring the transaction. So how in a transaction will I maximize not only value, but desires? So if it's very important for me to keep, my brand intact, or have my employees have a long-term future with a new owner, that's very important that could be very important to somebody, and help in structuring. So getting ahead of that and understanding what that looks like in terms of employment down the road, and just thoughtfulness around that. And 3, which I made number 3, but everybody wants to know as number 1, is what maximizes value in a transaction. So what can I do now in order to maximize my value later? And that can be types of business you take on, types of profitability. What does the market reward for businesses that they do? What are value negatives? What kind of off income statement, off balance sheet items do individuals and investors look at? What kind of cash flow items? How are things that are not overly apparent to me now impact us down the road? What will a process look like, and how can I create a competitive tension to have a successful sale? So all of these are extremely important reasons why you should be reaching out to individuals like myself if you're considering a sale, and we can help guide through it and be very thoughtful, as it is a long-term decision, and we take your decision and situation as serious as you do. So I'll put it back to Todd. Thank you for today.
Hey, thank you, Jerome. So ending our podcast with a quote in the spirit of our discussion today by Warren Buffett. You only have to do a few things right in your life, so long as you don't do too many things wrong. If you'd like to ask a question about today's topic or any topic, have a comment, or would like to learn more about us, send us an email at take5@saxllp.com. SAX is committed to being our clients' #1 advisor by understanding their vision, providing solutions that exceed expectations to assure their success. Every day, we strive to live our tagline, SAX, expect more. Thank you for taking 5 with SAX. Wishing you all an amazing and profitable day.